All right, guys, every now and then we like to throw a fun game at you. We're going to do it this week with a game we like to call Hold 'em or Fold 'em.
Hold 'em or fold 'em.
Welcome to the NFL.
The way this game works is each division leader, I will ask Tristan if he would like to hold them, meaning he thinks they will win the division, or fold them, meaning he thinks they will lose the division, or at least come out of that first place spot. Let's get started. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills. They're 7-2 right now. Tristan, are you holding them or folding them?
The easiest one on the list, I'll make it quick, hold them. They're going to win this division. One, because they're the best team, and two, because I think what second place is 5 games back. This one's easy. The Bills are winning this division. I thought it preseason, it's holding.
Yeah, I think they've already swept the second best team in this division, so for me, it's going to be a hold 'em as well. The Commanders, they are 7-2 right now. What you doing with them? Hold them, fold them?
This is one of the tougher ones, actually.
Okay.
They're 7-2. The Eagles are right behind them at 6-2. I'm going to say right now, Ryan, fold them. I think when it's said and done, the Eagles are going to win this division. The way the Eagles have looked the past few weeks has been spectacular. The Eagles have won 4 in a row. I know the Commanders keep finding ways to win, but they still have to play each other twice, and it just, to me, feels like the youth and the inexperience of the Commanders is going to bite them in those Philly games. I am not a Sirianni fan. I like Dan Quinn more. I like Jaden Daniels more than Jalen Hurts, but I think overall the Eagles are kind of rounding into form as a better football team with Saquon Barkley, with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. The defense is starting to play really well together. They're just getting better at the perfect time. I think the Eagles are going to end up overtaking them, so fold them on the Commanders.
If you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have probably said hold them on the Commanders, but you're right. As far as the second best roster, aside from the Lions in the NFL, it's got to be the Eagles to me. This offense is just explosive. The defense is coming on strong too. Everything's kind of working in their favor, so I'm going to fold the Commanders right there with you. Let's move on to Kansas City. They are 7-0 right now, the only undefeated team. The Monday night game hasn't taken place, but I am going to go ahead and bet that they will win against the depleted and injured Tampa Bay Bucks. Are you going to hold them or fold them?
This is a predicament for me because I don't know if this video is going to come out. This video is probably coming out after they play the Bucks, but here, I'll make it easy.
Surely we're going to jinx them.
Right. But here's the thing. Whether they win or lose the Bucks game, whether they're 8-0 or 7-1, You're holding them. They're not going to lose this division. Now, hey, wouldn't shock me if the Chargers or the Broncos are able to, even win one of those games and make the playoffs. I think one of those teams, the Chargers or the Broncos, will be a wild card team. Both are kind of better than we expected, a little bit, but you're not going to overtake Patrick Mahomes unless something crazy happens. The fact that the Chiefs are undefeated with the injuries, it's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes, and also it's Spags in that defense, dude. This is a defensive team. They're getting healthy. They added Hopkins back. Hold them. The Chiefs are winning the AFC West.
I'm going to hold them too, man. And like you said, the Chargers and the Broncos, Harbaugh's doing great things at the Chargers, especially after the win today. Looked great. The Broncos, Bo Nix is doing absurd things. He's playing some really good football. I just don't think it's enough to overcome Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. So let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals. This is a fun one. 5-4 right now. Did not think that they would be atop their division in Week 9, but here we are, and they are leading this division over the Rams, over the 49ers, and the Seahawks. So are you holding them or folding them?
This is the division that's probably most in flux in the NFL. You said earlier, I think when we talked about it, you said, if you would have told me this was complete opposite, you would have believed it more than hearing what it is right now.
100%.
It's just crazy. Cardinals, 1 game above the Rams, both teams on a 3-game win streak. I'm going to say fold them, but I want to add the caveat. I would not be just shocked if the Cardinals win because they're starting to play more complete football. First off, Kyler Murray is probably playing the best football of his career. He has really matured into
He said it.
Yeah, not just playing, the run around, dad trying to catch the kids out back. Like, he's starting to play professional quarterback. Their defense is still, up and down. I think Gannon's a good football coach. I know we said last year that was probably the shock of the 2023 season. Gannon turned out to be a good coach. They've just got a lot of personnel deficiencies. The roster is just not quite there, I don't think, to compete with the Rams and the 49ers as we move down the stretch. But considering the injuries the Rams and the 49ers have dealt with, it's possible. Just at this juncture, I'm still going to think LA or San Fran's going to find a way to overtake them. So fold them for me. Wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way.
Yeah, I'm going to fold them too, just because I was looking at the schedule while you were talking. They beat the 49ers in week 5. I don't think that'll happen again. They also play the Seahawks twice after their bye, and then the Rams and the 49ers again. So I think that's a really tough schedule to ask them to win through, and I think that it's going to be enough to kind of bump them down in this division and put the Rams atop that division.
They did beat the Rams once already too, though.
They did.
So to be fair, they do have a win over the Rams and the 49ers, which is impressive.
Which is even makes me less confident that they'll sweep these teams,
right.
The second half of the season. So that's why I'm going to fold them here. I think the Rams will actually probably wind up winning this division, but that's not what we're doing here today. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that, honestly, I never give enough credit to for whatever reason. I don't know why. I never believe in the Steelers, and yet they find a way to still manage to be atop their division most of the time. So are you holding or folding them at 6-2?
Not to pile on you here, but when we did our preseason predictions, this is what I tried telling you when you were like under on the Steelers. I was like, dude, we do this every year. And I know the reason I say it is because I used to do it too. Like the 2 years before that, I was the same as you. I was like, under, they're done. Mike Tomlin's just a great football coach, man. Now, I do kind of push back and say, they do what they always do. They go above 500, make the playoffs, and get beat in the first round. It's probably what they'll do this year. I don't think they're going to win the division, even though I've been super impressed. To me, I feel like the Russell Wilson thing has to kind of come back down to the mean. He is playing well. He's pushing the ball downfield. With that defense, it's kind of like Seattle. Have a good defense, have Russ manage the game, and throw a couple bombs to Pickens, because Justin Fields just wouldn't even throw Pickens any 50-50 balls. They're like, hey, he can go up and grab them. Just throw it up there. I think the Steelers very well could win this division, but on paper, the Ravens are a better football team. I do have some worries about the Ravens defense, so this might bite me, but I'm going to say fold them right now. I think the Ravens end up taking the division.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going to fold them too. I think the Ravens win this division, and I think the Bengals may get on a late hot streak like they do every year and actually beat out the Steelers in some form or fashion. Could be wrong about that. I'm reaching. I know I'm reaching. It's the Bengals. They played a great game against the Raiders today, but still, they still played good football. Maybe this will give them enough confidence to win a few more games. Let's move on. The Detroit Lions, 7-1, man. Like, I'm going to ask you hold them or fold them, but pretty sure I guess your answer.
Another one that's easy. 6-game winning streak. They've already beat the Vikings. They've already beat the Packers. If you would have asked me a week or 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said fold them. And I would have stuck firm with my Packers prediction and said, no, the Packers are going. They're just not. And the Vikings are good. But even tonight, the Vikings kind of struggled against the Colts. I think we're starting to see the Vikings kind of, again, regress back to the mean. Still a good team, still a playoff team, but not how they looked early in the season. The Lions look head and shoulders above most teams in the NFC, in the NFL. There's very few teams you would put with the Lions and say, hey, they could beat them. There's very few. The Lions are winning this division. Hold them.
Yeah, I'm going to hold them too. The only loss they have is against Tampa Bay. It was 20-16 when Tampa Bay was the best team in the NFC South at the time when everybody was healthy. So, in my opinion, I think this Lions team has nobody in their way to victory in this division. Maybe in the NFC, like I think the Eagles, if they get on this streak like we were talking about, they may be the only one to kind of hold a flame or hold a torch to the Lions this year. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm going to hold them just as well as you. Next up, the Houston Texans at 6-3. Hold them or fold them?
Hold them, but not because I'm impressed with the Texans. It's just because the Colts lost tonight. The Titans lost. The Jaguars lost. I mean, the Texans are not great this year because the offensive line is bad. It's not all on them. CJ Stroud's not playing good, okay? He's not like awful, but he's not making the plays he was making last year. I think we're starting to get in a situation with CJ Stroud where he's bringing his eyes down and he's worried about the rush. I don't blame him because he's getting beat up out there. They've got injuries. Nico Collins has been hurt. He might be coming back. Stephon Diggs, he's out for the year. It just feels like it's kind of what we thought might happen. It's a little bit of that sophomore slump with the Texans. They're still 6-3. They're going to win the division just because the rest of the division is a disaster. But I don't think they're a real threat to any AFC team. Hold them, but by grace of their division.
Yeah, the next two teams down, the Colts and the Titans, have a combined win total of as much as the Texans right now. So I'm also going to hold the Texans just because everybody else is crappy on this division. So it's unfortunate for all these other teams, but fortunate for the Texans because you can still be a mediocre, middle-of-the-road team and win a division every now and then. Last team, let's round it out. The Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, 6-3 right now. Are you holding them or folding them?
You got to hold them mainly because of the injuries to the Bucs. Even without the injuries to the Bucs, Atlanta was able to beat them, that first time, and then the second time they beat them. Again, Atlanta is a good football team. How good are they? We won't know. It's funny. Atlanta's season is going to be determined by how they play the playoffs. They're going to probably win the division. They're going to make the playoffs. Can they win a playoff game? I think if they win one playoff game, the fans are going to be happy. I feel like the Kirk Cousins thing is going to be a success. Well, first, the Kirk Cousins thing is a success right now because he has them competitive. He has them winning football games. They're 6-3. They've won 2 straight. This is the best Falcons fans have felt in years. It might have got tight if, the Bucs hadn't had the wide receiver injuries. Mike Evans is probably coming back, but Godwin's out for the season. Just feels like they can't really catch a break. And with the Bucs defense having all the issues they do, the Falcons, while they have their issues, are the most complete team in the NFC South. Hold them, they win it.
I agree with you, man. And being Kirk Cousins, you got to be happy because you're out of the NFC North where the competition is much more stout than you're facing right now. The Bucs were giving you a run for your money. I agree with you. The injuries are going to play in their favor, the Falcons' favor. I think they'll win. And then also, if you ask Michael Thomas, I can tell you that the Saints aren't going to win this division. And he firmly believes that.
No, I agree. I agree with him.
I do too. I'm going to hold him on the Falcons. That is Hold 'em or Fold 'em, gentlemen and ladies. If you're watching, we love these little games that we put out here. So like these videos that we put out because it really matters. If you like these, comment down below. If you think that we're idiots, which most of you do, it's fine. Just let us know in the comment section. But that is the game for today.